Okay then, today we are going to go through another transfer roundup where we are going to take a look at a few different regions, not quite as action-packed as the last one, and Overwatch League has been getting rather quiet as of recent, and therefore we don't have as much to go through in that. But this should be interesting. Actually, the most chunkiest region in this transfer roundup is Europe, which makes a change. NA really hasn't done too much. This is all ahead of the gauntlet, obviously. Some places have started their gauntlet. Qualifiers in Korea have been taking place. But Europe and North America, they're still getting into things, and of course we still have the Overwatch League as well. But without further ado, let's get into this then. We start off in China, where we see one move. This is the Canadian support player 6 feet leaving Ultra Prime Gaming, or Ultra Prime Academy I should say, and he will no longer be assigned. I'd say gaming all the time because there's a lot of gamings in China, because you have Bilibili Gaming and Light Gaming and things like that. Anyway, he's leaving. I wish him all the best in his search for a new team going forward. Right, now let's stick with Asia. Let's go over to Korea and let's get that region out of the way. Over there we have seen 3 different transfers. First of all, we're going to take a look at In Hyuk. He is a Korean tank player. He's moving from Team BM to Team Diamond in Korea. Team Diamond still competing in the Gauntlet qualifiers, I believe, and are doing okay. It's been an interesting one in Gauntlet qualifiers because you see some really interesting teams coming up, like Gen A, which is a relation of Gen G, I should say. We get there because there's so many gens. There's Gen S, Gen A, Gen B, and you get to see some of these more lower profile Korean teams come forward and give their hand at trying to be one of the better Korean teams. It's very, very interesting. I think it's a very open competition, and yeah, it's been super, super interesting to see. Anyway, now we have a movement at T1. This is them signing a coach. This is Jin. Now, this is actually a really, really interesting move because Jin has just come fresh off the back of leaving the Guangzhou Charge in the Overwatch League. So this is a major pickup for T1. Like, they have not... T1 have been okay. They haven't been a massive force in Korea since moving over to there. They used to be the Fusion Academy. Fusion Uni back in those days, but it was all transferred to T1's org. And to pick up someone that is literally just fresh off coaching Guangzhou Charge, you know, they were Summer Showdown champions in the Overwatch League. So this is a major pickup for T1. I think it's a very big coup for them to get someone who's done so well in the Overwatch League. And it'd be interesting to see if you can turn their fortunes around and make them... I think T1 see themselves and they want to be a bit like Talon have been going into that region, going into Korea. Talon have done very well, moving over from the Pacific region, which no longer exists, and T1 have kind of just haven't been there, haven't made it, haven't been the big team that was expected. Finally, in Korea, we do see Element Mystic signing up the Korean support Vigilante. He is coming in, well, he was with 200 milliseconds, or MS, 200 MS, who were competing in NA, but they were competing in Korea, that funny team that was an experiment that was really cool. So he's coming in from there pretty much. He was unassigned because 200 MS actually disbanded. Coming in for Element Mystic for the Gauntlet, it will be the last hurrah of Element Mystic before they disband, they go on a hiatus, whatever, where they won't be competing in 2021, which is really unfortunate. And I hope he can be a little bit of shining light for that team as it bows out. Anyway, now we can go over the one move in North America. We are seeing the American support player Sluggo move from being not assigned to Hour Zero. It's the only move in America. I wish him all the best at Hour Zero. Hour Zero, a relatively new team, and they're going to be competing in that gauntlet and obviously the current season. And we will see how they do. I do wish them all the best, though, going forward. Then we'll move over to the European region, where we've got the most of our transfers, including a new team entirely, which is nice to see. So let's go through Vox Nihili first, because they have made some pretty big moves. This is them signing up 2 players, first of all, 2 French players, 1 support, Starboy, and a DPS, Bombyman. I think that's how you say it. They will be coming in and rolling out for Vox Nihili. Vox Nihili will also be getting rid of some players to counteract this. This will be the French DPS player Alex, the Swedish DPS player Pingu, and the British DPS player Kotex. They will be leaving Vox Nihili and will no longer be assigned Then we have some more people coming into Vox Nihili, which is very interesting again, because these are coming in from Angry Titans. This is the Danish DPS player Farl and the Irish tank player, Pure Irish, all coming into Vox Nihili. This leads into some changes at Angry Titans, actually, as they are completely overhauling, well, actually just getting rid of a bunch of people and bringing in some people as well. First of all, they're letting go of 2 people. This is the French coach Buell and the Austrian support player Levitate. They are leaving Angry Titans alongside Farl and Pure Irish. And then to bring in replacements, they are bringing in a bunch of people. So this is the Polish coach Mac, the Italian support player Kate Comey, the Slovakian support player Blue X, the Danish tank player Weku, the Danish DPS player Biju, and the Iranian DPS player Braven, all coming in to Angry Titans and making up that roster, I'm sure, for Contenders or Gauntlet that will be coming up very, very soon. Talking of new rosters, we move over to, well, we don't move over anywhere because this is still the EU, but we are moving over to a new team called Fourth Dimension. This will be very interesting. A lot of British talent in this team. It's going to be interesting to see how they do. So, they are bringing in the German coach Da Wolf, the Norwegian coach Glatz01, the British coach Quite, the British manager Crayfox, or Crayfox, I'm not sure, Cray3Fox, who knows, the American manager Sandman, the Russian support player Andrejko, the British support player Froky Dude, again, someone who's been around Contenders quite a lot in Europe, the Dutch tank player NKZ, the British tank player Jaru, the British DPS player Disperse, and the Swedish DPS player Love, all coming in to Fourth Dimension. As I said, quite a bit of British talent there. Love has been around the Contender scene for bouncing from team to team. He hasn't really settled anywhere. I hope this is going to be good for Fourth Dimension, and I hope they can push forward with this. It will be very interesting to see how they get on in the Gauntlet, because I'm sure that's probably what they're competing in. They're not probably competing in anything else. Again, the Gauntlet is going to be really interesting when people come to it, because anyone can enter it, right? So there's going to be a lot of people trying their hand at being some of the best teams in Tier 2. And we may see some very surprising people come up the ranks. It would be amazing to see that. It would be amazing to see some unpredictability in the Gauntlet. And that's why I think actually this format is actually quite pog, not going to lie. But we are expecting teams like British Hurricane, like Obey Alliance, etc. to do quite well, obviously, because of their stature in Contenders right now. But we leave Tier 2 as we move over to the Overwatch League to quickly gloss over the moves that have happened there. Although we have been through these in other videos, so we won't be dwelling on these too long. So, first of all, Molly, the Chinese DPS player. He's not a DPS player, never has been. He's a support player. Molly, the Chinese support player, has moved from Chengdu Hunters to the Shanghai Dragons. Big pickup for the Shanghai Dragons. I liked Molly last season. I think he's a very good player for the Chengdu Hunters. Brings in some fresh Chinese talent into the Shanghai Dragons, who let go of Luffy, the Korean flex support player, earlier in this window. They still have Izayaki and Lee Jae-gon, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with Molly. But Moon, coach of the Shanghai Dragons, did say he has big plans for Molly to actually play in this team and not be a backup, which is incredibly interesting. Then we see Happy, the DPS player who was playing for the Guangzhou Charge, moving over to Houston Outlaws. I think this is the best move that the Houston Outlaws have made so far. I think he is a great hit scan player, and I really think he will do well at the Houston Outlaws, and a great replacement for Linksa. Anyway, then we have Chengdu Hunters again, them signing up 2 people from Team CC. Two people that I actually thought would get signed from Team CC. Team CC are one of the best teams in China right now. They did get knocked off their podium in Season 2 of Contenders China by Flag Gaming, who also have had people poached by Overwatch League teams, mainly Chengdu Hunters. But these are 2 of the best players on that Team CC team that is a Season 1 Contenders title winner this year and has so many weeks under its belt in terms of week titles. This is going to be Gag, or Ga9A, if you want to read it its actual way, who is a main tank player. He will be in that role that basically Among plays. The only problem with Among is the fact that he's not very flexible, and as much as we like his ball, I think teams need a really flexible main tank right now, who can perhaps even flex to double when a team wants to play double off tank, like the Roadhog Zarya meta we've seen, that they could do that as well. So I think this is a great pickup. I think this is one of the best Chinese main tanks around right now. So I think it's a great pickup for Chengdu Hunters. Then we have 1987, which is how he appears on Contenders VODs, but he's actually called Farway 1987. This is a support player. Again, someone I expected to perhaps be promoted to an Overwatch League team. I think this is a great pickup for the Chengdu Hunters. Then we see Shanghai Dragons letting go of Stand 1. Not too much of a surprise considering they picked up Fate. We expected Stand 1 to kind of either be a bench player or be let go. I kind of expected him to be a bench player considering he was still under contract, but Shanghai have negotiated out of that and will not have to pay any wages or anything now, which is a move for them. Bundled in with this, I did bundle in J-Mac, who was a main tank at the London Spitfire. He is now retiring from Overwatch, citing the fact that he couldn't improve when reviewing his own VODs and stuff like that. He'd fallen out in love with the game, and so will no longer be competing in Overwatch. I wish him all the best for the future. And then lastly, as we did a video on Toby, the ever-present Seoul Dynasty main support and Lunatic High legend, I suppose you could say, has left the Seoul Dynasty and will no longer be with them. He's looking for a team. He may still get an Overwatch League team, but he is running at an age right now. It is a big loss for the Seoul Dynasty. In terms of leadership, he was a very big figure in that sort of thing, and it is the last connection that Seoul Dynasty had to Lunatic High. So it is a great loss, and it is an end of an era in some respects, and I wish him all the best going forward, as I said in that video. But that is it for this transfer roundup. We will continue to go forward. The Overwatch League transfers are drying up ever so slightly right now, as Contenders is in full swing. We are not seeing a massive amount of moves, but we still have a lot of empty rosters like New York Excelsior, like Paris Eternal, like London Spitfire. A lot to be explored, a lot to find out. Houston Outlaws still also needing pickups alongside maybe some other teams as well. So there's still a lot to work out. Vancouver Titans is another one. So it's still a lot to come, but obviously as transfers don't come as thick and fast, the transfer updates that the Overwatch League are having can't come as thick and fast either. So there'll be other content coming as well. There are series in the works. There are also things like Overcoach that will be coming back, as well as variety included in that. But I am going to leave it here for this one. Please do join the Discord when it concerns transfers and stuff like that, because obviously they are a very big part of that Discord. There are Discord channels dedicated to making sure that all the updated transfers are on there and the updated rosters for 2021 as they are confirmed. But for now, thank you guys so much for this video. If you'd like to give a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.